What's up, Taiwan? I'm Ethan Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's High Court has handed down sentences to 8 people charged with spying for China. Leslie Liao has more.
Taiwan's High Court has sentenced 8 current and former military personnel for breaking Taiwan's national security law by spying for China. China first reached out to the retired military personnel, who then leveraged their contacts and connections to recruit active duty members of the military to carry out espionage. That includes things like leaking information to China and getting other soldiers to pledge their allegiance to China's military. This all happened under an elaborate spy network in which China paid the defectors with cryptocurrency. And according to officials, the main suspect in the case, a retired military officer surnamed Chen, is still on the run. China claims Taiwan as part of its territory and has not ruled out taking the country by force. Part of China's strategy is infiltrating Taiwan's defense networks. That includes attempts to infiltrate Taiwan's military. So cases like these are quite common in Taiwan. But in this case, the sentences handed down on Thursday are uncharacteristically harsh. On average, each of the charged received 7 years in prison, with one person receiving 13 years in prison. That's compared to a case 2 months ago when Taiwan's Supreme Court sentenced a former colonel and general 2 years each for recruiting intelligence assets on behalf of China. Those 2 were also fined for their offenses as well. Now, this may not be the last we've heard of this case, as the court's decision can still be appealed. Eason Pan, Devin Tsai, and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
President Lai Ching-te has met with former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, as she completes her first trip to Taiwan.
This is a time where we need to be vigilant. We can't wait to see if China invades Taiwan. We need to get in front of the situation now. We need to strengthen our alliances, we need to come up with a plan, and we need to know exactly what our message is going to be to the world.
Haley focused her remarks on what she called the moral clarity of supporting Taiwan. In his address, President Lai said that Taiwan aims to stand with democracies globally. At an Indo-Pacific Security Conference in Taipei earlier in the week, Haley said the United Nations should stop ignoring Taiwan and welcome the country as a full member. A lawmaker from Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party is out on bail on charges of embezzlement. As Edmund reports, it's the latest case in an ongoing crackdown on corruption under President Lai Ching-te.
Released, but not off the hook. Associates of lawmaker Lin Yijin of the ruling Democratic Progressive Party head home after hours of questioning over charges of embezzlement. Lin released on a bail of $31,000. The head of her office held in custody. At Lin's office, boxes taken away as prosecutors search for evidence. Her office staff giving little away. It's the latest in a series of political corruption investigations and convictions since President Lai Ching-te took office in May. The most high profile was former Vice Premier and DPP heavyweight Zheng Wen-san. He's being held on suspicion of involvement in an illegal land deal. Then there was the conviction and sentencing of Hsinchu Mayor An Gao to over 7 years on embezzlement charges, and of opposition Kuomintang lawmaker Yen Kuan-hung to over 8 years for corruption. Both of them are free while they seek appeals. Since taking office, Lai has spoken publicly about the need to eliminate corruption from Taiwanese politics. Previously as Tainan mayor, he made a name for himself with an 8-month-long boycott of the city council over vote-buying allegations against the speaker. Lai's zero-tolerance stance on corruption was reinforced by a party spokesperson for his ruling DPP.
赖清德主席也已经公开的来谈论过，民进党的态度就是不论党派，不论何人，只要涉及非法，就检调就应该查办，勿枉勿纵。
And this latest case is unlikely to be the last. With prosecutors cracking down on potential corruption, no one can be sure who'll be next. Chris Ma and Ed Moon for TaiwanPlus.
Teachers' unions are angry about a government pension plan they say doesn't do enough to protect teachers' retirement funds. They're pushing for a plan of their own and even going on hunger strike to show how serious they are about getting it approved. John Van Trist reports.
It's a tense moment outside the cabinet building on a humid August morning. For 2 days, the chair of the National Teachers Union has been on hunger strike over a government pension plan that has teachers worried about their retirements. Today, teachers from across the country have gathered in solidarity in the late summer heat. But once they've shouted their slogans and waved their banners, the question is, will anyone hear their demands? As they stand waiting, a speaker reminds everyone why they're here. They're in favor of following the Civil Servant Ministry's recommendation of a 10-year injection amounting to $992 million into the teacher pension fund. What the government's offered is $607 million over 20 years. While this will mean less short-term spending, the protesters say spending more now will actually save the government in the long run. They say the government plan makes little sense.
整体的施政没有那个逻辑性，我相信只会让基层的公教人员对政府的信赖感会越来越低。
The cabinet's expected to make a final decision sometime today. The assembled teachers and their supporters get down on the baking pavement. This has turned into a sit-in. One protester explains who exactly they're waiting for.
我们想要的是有决策能力的，你派底下的科员啊，派底下的科长，他们都是公务员，都是公务员，都是受命于所谓的长官的指示，他们没办法为我们承诺什么。
Finally, the tension breaks. A police officer announces that this is an illegal assembly and warns the protesters to leave peacefully. No one is coming out to talk with the protesters. Other officers close in on the seated group while union leaders decide what to do next.
慢慢带理事长再步行回群贤楼。那拜托我们地方工会的伙伴们，我们做一件事情，我们把正确的资讯传递给我们老师，传递给家长，传递给社会，传递给政府，好不好？好。
In the end, the protesters pack up their banners and signs and leave. But they say this is just the start of their movement. With no signs of either side backing down, this could soon become a headache for Taiwan's new government. Devin Tsai and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
One of the world's most prestigious film festivals has returned to Taiwan. Reporter Sandy Chi went to Sundance to witness the Short Film Awards.
Welcome to Taipei! Rolling out the red carpet for the unsung heroes of TV and film. The sound directors, designers and photographers behind hits like Game of Thrones, Thor: The Dark World and The Joker are all gathered here in Taipei for the Sundance Film Festival Asia.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Kim Yatani, Heidi Wicker.
Sundance is the largest independent film festival in the world. And this year, it's holding its Asia event in Taiwan for the second time.
There's so much talent here. There's obviously a great film school system here, which is really cool and exciting to see. And they're just so engaged. And the conversations I see them have with our visiting filmmakers, they're really inspiring to us. We want to be a little bit of everything. There's a place for every kind of filmmaker's work at our festival, and that's what we really want people to know.
The festival intends to foster exchanges between filmmakers in Taiwan and the international community. It also provides a vulnerable opportunity to discover and nurture Taiwanese talent.
I think one thing as a talent agent that we're always looking for is people who are unique, people who are authentic, and artists who kind of speak to something that feels new and different.
That talent was on full display at the short film competition, with a shortlist containing 6 movies by Taiwanese filmmakers.
The winner is Lin Qianyu.
Among them was 32-year-old Lin Qianyu, whose film Suojiang, about a locksmith, won the prestigious Best Short Film Award.
我觉得是很大的肯定啊，就是自己看的片被不管是评审团还是就是观众们看见，然后被他们支持，我觉得是非常大的肯定，然后也给我更多的动力去继续拍片。
The judges say that every shortlisted film was intriguing and had its own unique voice, but that Suojiang stood out from the rest.
I really love, how she plays with the genres. Like she combines, I would say, realism and then fantasy, and also psychological thrillers together in a very vague and an organic way. I really love the way that she, do the soundings and also editing. Everything is just interesting and organic, I would say.
The short film portion of the event is finished, but Sundance is just getting started.
As this festival short film competition comes to an end, the event shifts to higher gear with an expanded lineup of screenings, intensive panels, and also insightful workshops.
We love being here to learn about filmmakers, but also for filmmakers to learn about us, and that's the best version of this festival experience.
And with event organizers bringing Sundance back to Taiwan, it's clear they see the country and its filmmaking talent as a crucial part of that best version. Chris Ma, Patrick Chen, Yushen Lai, and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Award-winning sound editor Skip Livesey is hoping his workshop at Sundance inspires a new generation of Taiwanese filmmakers.
Make film, learn by doing. To me, film is like a craft, like making a table or a chair or a ceramic, or writing. And the best way to learn is to do.
Livesey is known for his work on blockbusters like Gravity and No Country for Old Men. He and Taiwanese sound designer Du Duzhi hosted a workshop at this year's festival. Du is famous in Taiwan for introducing live recording, synchronized sound, and Dolby encoding techniques to local cinema. Protests have broken out across Indonesia over controversial electoral reforms. Demonstrators in the capital Jakarta clashed with police and broke down fences around the parliament building. Critics say the changes favor outgoing President Joko Widodo, allowing his youngest son to run for office in regional elections. Following the protests, legislators have agreed to pause the reforms. An explosion in southern India has left 17 dead and dozens injured. The blast happened during lunch break at a pharmaceutical factory in Andhra Pradesh state. The explosion and subsequent fire have claimed 17 lives and left about 40 people wounded. Government officials suspect a gas leak caused the blast, but they're still investigating. Tokyo saw a record-breaking 100 millimeters of rainfall in a single hour on Wednesday. Commuters stood by as floods forced the subway line and Haneda International Airport to a standstill. Several airlines canceled flights following lightning strikes at the airport. Officials say conditions for torrential rains and flash floods are set to last into Thursday evening. The city of Taichung has found a way to get discarded disability equipment to people who need it, solving the problems of waste and the need for wheelchairs and walkers at once. Louis Watt reports.
Cleaning up a crutch and walkers and wheelchairs. Maintenance workers in the central city of Taichung are giving disability equipment a new lease on life.
我们就会先去寻找它的问题点在哪边，之后我们再加以去修复，看是皮的部分要重包呢，还是说我们生锈的部分要除锈。
Liao and his colleagues usually spend their time repairing second-hand furniture. Now the centre run by the city's environmental authorities is also taking on assistive devices, as more people pass them on, often hardly used.
短暂的生病或者是短暂的受伤，那去购买新的辅具，那病好之后呢，但他就是说他会没有需求了，那他就会把它给清洁队去做一个清运回收。
The done-up devices are then sold at reduced rates. People with disabilities can even apply to the city to get them for free. The scheme has already found new homes for dozens of crutches, walkers and beds, prolonging their lives and helping those who depend on them. John Su and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website and follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out this exhibition in London, celebrating 74 years of Formula One racing. I'm Ethan Liu. Take care, and I'll see you next time.